Here we have three equations that you have to solve, and the trick with the first one is that it does have a denominator, so the objective is to get that denominator, get rid of the denominator. And part E and F, give it a try. This is a quadratic where you've got a bracket and a second bracket, and they are in fact multiplied, and this is good, and that equals 0. And you've also got the same situation for F, a second bracket, and you've got a product of two brackets. So yes, they are in fact being multiplied here. And good luck with this. Try it and then see if your solution matches mine. So I hope you've given that a try before you've looked at this solution. So let's go through it. Part D. And we're going to start by writing the equation, and you see that denominator can go up to the other side. We can take that denominator up to the other side to be multiplied. So we've got 2x minus 1 on the left side, and 3 times that denominator, 2 minus x. Now we can expand. 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times x is 3x. And here we've got an equation similar to an earlier tuition where we've got x's on both sides. I'm going to look for the smallest, and that'd be negative 3x. I'm going to bring that across to become plus 3x. So that would become 2x minus 1 plus 3x equals 6 on the right hand side. 2x plus 3x is 5x. Now we can take that minus 1 across the other side to become plus 1. So 5x equals 6 plus 1, so that makes 7. And therefore we take that times 5 across the other side to become minus 5. Divide 5. So it's being multiplied on the left, so x equals 7 divide 5. And we've got our solution. Let's try E. We've got x minus 3, x plus 2. You might notice this is a quadratic if you expand it, but we don't want it to be expanded. The objective is to have them factorized and equal to 0. So this is quite easy. One of these brackets have to be a 0. Either the left bracket is a 0 or the right bracket is a 0. So we will say, therefore, either x minus 3 equals 0 for this to equal 0, or x plus 2 has to equal 0 for this to equal 0. Therefore, take the minus 3 across to be 0 plus 3, and take the plus 2 across to be 0 minus 2. And we've got our two solutions. X can equal 3 or x can equal negative 2. Part F. Very similar to part E. You've got two factors, and for two factors to be 0, one of those factors has to be a 0. Either that factor can be a 0 or that factor can be a 0. So let's start by saying this factor could be a 0 or that factor could be a 0. Then you would get an answer of 0. So if x minus 1 is 0, take the minus 1 across to be plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. And for this second factor, take the plus 5 across to be minus 5. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. So our two solutions are x is 1 or x is negative 5. Well, let's have a look at some checks, shall we? So I want to check part D, and I'm going to check the answer. See if x is 7 over 5 makes it true. So we've got 2 times 7 over 5, take away 1 on the numerator, and 2 minus 7 over 5 on the denominator. Does that equal 3? Well, let's find out. 2 times 7 is 14, so we've got 14 over 5 on the numerator, and we've got 2 minus 7 over, which is 1 and 2/5. I'll change 7/5 into 1 and 2/5. Does that equal 3? Well, let's keep going. 5 goes into 14 twice, remainder 4, so that's 2 and 4/5. And 2 take away 1 and 2/5 leaves 3/5. So So we're still seeing if this equals 3. 2 4/5 take away 1 is 3 4/5. All right, so 3 4/5 divided by 3/5. Now, this is a little bit difficult. I'm going to turn that into a improper fraction. And, sorry, I made a mistake here. Did you spot that? I'll just go back to this step here. It's not 3 4/5 at all. 2 4/5 take away 1 4/5 is in fact 1 4/5. Good, that's better. All right, so I'm going to change 1 4/5 into 9/5. And instead of divide by 3/5, I'm going to multiply by 5/3. So we take that divide 3/5 and we reciprocate it and make it multiply by 5/3. Now we can cancel, that 5 can cancel with that 5, and 9 divided by 3 does in fact equal 3. That's true. So yes, it's true for x is in fact 17/5, or you could have said x equals, sorry, not 17/5, 7/5. That looks like a 17. Hang on, let me just write that properly. 7. X is equal to 1 2/5. Or you could have said x equals 1.4. So either of those three answers would be correct. Let's check E. And we want to check x equals 3, and we want to check x equals -2, because either of those is okay. So let's first check x equals 3. So we put 3 minus 3, 3 plus 2. Does that equal 0? 3 minus 3 is 0. 3 plus 2 is 5. And that's true, because 3 makes the first bracket a 0. Now let's try x equals -2. So we've got -2 take 3. We've got -2 plus 2. Does that equal 0? Well, -5 times 0 does in fact equal 0. That's true. So yes, we've got the correct solutions, 3 or -2. Can't be both. Has to be one or the other, because x cannot be 3 and -2 at the same time. Let's check F. I want to check the values 1 and -5. And x could be 1 or -5. So let's try the 1 first. Put a 1 for x plus 5. So we would get 1 minus 1 is 0, times 1 plus 5 is 6. Yep, that's true. 0 times 6 does equal 0. And let's try the -5 now. -5 minus 1 in the first bracket. -5 plus 5 in the second bracket. So we would get -6 times 0, and that is in fact true. And yes, 1 or -5 are the correct solutions. There are 2 solutions for part E, 2 solutions for part F. Okay, so I hope this has helped. Until next time, stay happy.